Pointers on the President's speech that he delivered in the joint House sittings, Mr. Speaker. The President noted that the government has learned through the hard way to listen to its citizens on the issues they're raising from time to time, and that he acknowledged the mistake that we had done, for example, when we attempted to pass the Finance Bill 2024, we did not carry the whole country with us. We did not take time to communicate and to let them know the very good and very gainful steps that we were going to achieve and make through that bill, Mr. Speaker. And so the President noted that we need to, and that was the mood of his speech, that he wanted the whole country to know the steps that we are making. Mr. Speaker, the step that we are making in the health sector is revolutionary. And for the first time, I had the President refer to it as Taifa Care. And I was seated next to Senator for Nakuru, Senator Tabitha Keroche, and I was telling her, if it was a selfish leader, they would have called this insurance Ruto Care, because the changes that are going to be effected by these laws that we passed in this very house are revolutionary, and they are going to be a game changer. They are actually a game changer when finally implemented. Mr. Speaker, we as politicians are called upon from time to time to help our people whenever they have a family member going through health issues, and it was very expensive to treat our people in the past. I remember when we were campaigning, when we were going to the people, giving them the promises of what we were going to do. The President, time and again, made reference to this social health insurance fund and how it was going to work, that it was pegged on what you're earning. Today, we are charged 2.75% of your gross income. Personally, I was charged in October. I paid 32,000, up from the 700 that I was paying before. I'm sure those who earn less, the bottom deduction is 300 shillings, down from 500 shillings, Mr. Speaker. And that means that when all Kenyans are covered comprehensively, we will have less harambes to attend to. We cannot complain about the 32,000 shillings that we are getting deducted, because that is just a drop in the ocean compared to what we give every day through M-Pesa, through physical harambes, and assisting other people sort their health issues. I don't know if Kenyans know that previously you could find somebody stabbed by the roadside and you could not dare take that person to hospital because you would have to cover their costs. Under the Social Health Insurance Fund, you can freely take that person to hospital for emergency care because they are covered. The chronic illnesses are also covered. We are now going to improve our facilities so that we do not have to travel out of the country to get this vital treatment and to do harambes, Mr. Speaker. And for me, if this government doesn't do anything else, if we fully implement the SHA and the SHIF, we will have done enough for our people. We will have done God's work. Because to me, as a leader, that is what we are called to do. Mr. Speaker, the President also took his time to reassure Kenyans that the housing project, apart from employing many youth, that it's going to have houses available to its citizens in an equitable manner, that there will be no favoritism, and he encouraged as many people, as many Kenyans as possible to apply for these houses in an open platform where it's not a physical kind of application, so there is no favoritism. It is a fair platform, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the President also noted the steps we have made. We having young Kenyans get gainful employment and meaningful employment abroad. Previously, we used to export labor. We used to export a lot of unskilled labor in the Arab countries mainly. But because of the involvement of the government, we're having bilateral negotiations, and we are onboarding new countries that we have never had relations before, like Jordan and others, Mr. Speaker. And Kenyans should take advantage of this to get skilled jobs, to export skilled jobs out of the country, Mr. Speaker. I'm glad that the President talked about the abductions. It has been a cry in the country, and he clarified that mainly what was being called abductions was either normal arrests, and he was very clear that he was not making excuses for illegal arrests, Mr. Speaker. The President also talked about femicide. It has been an issue in this country. At the same time, as a society, we have to be very careful so that this fight against femicide doesn't turn out to be lynching of the boy child. We have to look at it wholesomely. We have to protect our boy child, because I don't think we are raising murderers, but it's a complex issue that needs to be looked at wholesomely, Mr. Speaker. I also noted that the government services have been digitized. 20,800 government services have been digitized by being onboarded on the e-Citizen platform, up from 300 services in 2022, Mr. Speaker. And this has raised revenue very significantly. From the year ending June 2023, where we raised 5.3 billion, to the year ending June 2024, where we raised 7.6 billion, marking a 43% increment, Mr. Speaker. On corruption, the President had a lot to say about corruption, but what I remember is he threw the ball to both houses, and particularly told us to hasten on passing of the conflict of interest bill, which is squarely in our hands, Mr. Speaker. And I hope we will be heeding to that call and passing that bill and going through the contentious and getting the contentious clauses done with, so that we can serve Kenya through that law. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you know my position on the State of the Nation address. I have always held the position that the State of the Nation is the state of